You're Roman Catholic.
Yes.
How do you tell someone how to get to heaven?
My first thought is to come into the blessing of the Holy Trinity. And the way that we can accomplish that is to renew our understanding of our baptism. Our baptismal promise and our baptismal vow go together, and they bring us into the heart of the Holy Trinity. And everything starts and ends there, because that's what takes us to the Eucharist.
So baptism and
Holy
the
Eucharist
are necessary for heaven.
Absolutely.
What do you believe? What do you think about the ecumenism today? This move of tearing down all walls between denominations and even religions, and the Catholic Church is very much at the forefront of that.
My sense of ecumenism is I have a wider understanding of what is meant by church, the people of God. And the church, as we begin to understand salvation, God's plan for all to be saved, we need to widen our understanding and our perspective of the term church. Because it can't just be Catholic Church as those that are saved. I think we all can begin to understand that. And then that widens out further to Protestant denominations, and it would be inclusive of what happened with Martin Luther. Those people can't be rejected. They can't reject us, and we can't reject them. That scope should widen out to the Muslim faith, to all faiths throughout the world. The only people that are excluded would be those that exclude themselves, I suppose. You have to understand also with the Muslim faith that they believe in the God of Abraham. It's the same God that we believe in. They may worship him and comprehend him in a different way, but we still do believe in the same God.
Well, now the Muslims, though, reject that Jesus Christ was God.
Yes.
So how can that be the same God?
It's the same God. It's just the way that they understand it. They don't understand the richness of our heritage. They don't understand Christianity yet, because they're not Christians. So they're outside of the faith. They're outside of the Catholic Church, but they're not outside the church. So the more each of us, Muslims and Catholics or Christians, understand one another in those terms, the more we can come to an understanding of why Jesus came. He came to save all of us. And he even says in Scripture that he didn't come to save the saved. He came to save the ones that are not saved. The poor, the infidels.
Well, let me ask you about another statement of Jesus, though. When he was weeping over the city of Jerusalem, he said, I would, but you would not. You know, he wanted to receive them, but they rejected him for who he was, and therefore
Right.
He said they were damned.
No, he forgave them. He said, forgive them, for they know not what they do, from the cross. So if we can all come into an understanding of the passion, the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, if we can come into an understanding of the cross and what it really means, I think the Muslims can start to see the cross. I think they'll eventually see it. We have to bring them to it. We can't hold them outside of it. So we have to include in our Christian understanding of mercy and justice, we have to include everybody.
If they die rejecting Jesus Christ, they are not lost.
They're not lost, no. The same way that a person who lives in the deepest heart of Africa and never heard the gospel, that person's not lost either. That's according to Vatican II, our understanding of Vatican II.
Why send missionaries?
Huh?
Why send missionaries?
To bring the gospel to them,
But if they're not lost, what do they need to be evangelized?
Well, we still need to bring the gospel to them, because they need to lead a fruitful life. I mean, it's a living gospel. It's about life and living here and now also. It's not just what's going to happen in eternity. So if I can bring the gospel to that person, then he might be able to bring the gospel to his brother and sister, you see. Because to evangelize is to bring the word. Jesus brought the word to me. I can transmit the word to others, and others can transmit that word to others. So there's reason enough to have a missionary. I'm a missionary. I'm in a missionary order. And my mission is to go out into the world and to take the gospel into the world. So that's good enough for me.
What's your name?
Philip, Brother Philip D. Geneva. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.